Wow. Welcome in. He just the faces are already smiling. Brian is already licking his chops. He's rubbing his hands together. He knows coming in that, man, he just about hit it right on the head as we came into our predictions last week. Chiefs Raiders, one of the most dominant performances we've seen in some time. Really, one of the more dominating performances you'll see in the NFL in modern times, Brian. And you hit it on the head. You said this was going to be a beatdown, and I don't think even you and any of us could have describe what was coming, man. 31-0, total dominance, time of possession, yards, stats, Chiefs, Raiders. Is this even a rivalry anymore? 51-20 in the last 30 years, buddy.
Oh, it certainly is for old school Chiefs fans like me. The Raiders will always be the most hated in this house, wherever house I'm in. Good evening, gentlemen. It is a beautiful day in Chiefs Kingdom. Look, man, I told you, man, I might need to change my name to Shining Swami. Because look, I saw it coming a mile away. People have not seen Rashid Rice in so long, and I think yesterday was a friendly reminder on his capabilities and what he means to this offense.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw it. I predicted 31-13. I think everyone here gave the Raiders too much credit. Although I thought maybe Brock Bowers was getting closer to play, and I didn't know Jacoby Myers was going to be out. But even then, I don't think they hit that 13 mark or whatever points everybody else gave, because that's just an ebb. Geno Smith is, I mean, I guess if you leave Seattle, you just fall off a cliff. Russell Wilson did it. Geno Smith is doing it with the Raiders, even with Pete Carroll there, some familiarity. It's just not working. Ashton Jeanty was shut down. This defense, guys, is really coming alive as we move along here. Looked like a huge problem early in the season. Like we said, Spags gets better with the defense. As the season moves along, we got a lot of young guys back there. They're improving. They're getting better. We shut the Raiders out. 0 points. First time for Andy Reid, a shutout.
Since 2011, right? Since we beat the Raiders 28-0 in 2011 in the Oakland Coliseum. And guys, when you see this coming together, Brian, I want to go to you with this, because I see whatever a lot of people are seeing, and you're seeing all the pundits start to say it. We're resurrecting the Chiefs. They're the team to beat. They're playing the best. The offense is back. The weapons are here. But is this becoming one of the more well-rounded, one of the 2 or 3 more well-rounded, balanced teams in the NFL right now?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Look, man, the Chiefs are hitting on all cylinders right now, and they've been building towards this. Of course, with the injuries, but it's more so the players getting comfortable in the schemes. One example is Bashard Smith, the running back. They've kind of eased him in to the rotation on offense, and you're seeing that Jerick McKinnon role sprout up and starting to come alive for the Chiefs. And that was something I talked about in the offseason. That was a missing dynamic. The yards had steadily gone down since Jerick McKinnon had left the team as far as yardage receiving wise for the running backs. But the defense is the more underrated part of what they did yesterday. Look, they smothered the Raiders on every single level. Of course, the Raiders, they didn't help themselves by only running the ball. I think they only ran the ball 2 or 3 times by halftime. Now the Chiefs defense dictated a lot of that by having early down stops. And look, man, the Raiders didn't stand a chance yesterday. No Brock Bowers, no Jacoby Myers. Both of your top 2 receiving threats are out. I didn't expect them to be a dead man walking the entire game, though. But I think that's much more so a little them, but it was a lot of the Chiefs that did that. I like to point to another play where Chris Jones just absolutely manhandled their right guard. I mean, he was going back like I can't even figure out a dance or anything, but Chris Jones almost had him on his ass. That's what you don't want as an offensive lineman. That is the complete opposite position you want to be. The Chiefs was just dominant yesterday, and I don't think the Raiders are going to be the only team who they can do that on. I think they can do that on a number of teams. And when I look at the landscape of the league, you think Tampa Bay can hang with that? We know I don't see anybody in the AFC. Denver or maybe the Colts. I guess the Colts will be a tough test coming up in the next couple of weeks or so. Can't wait to see that game.
Yeah.
But Denver, are we serious? Are we serious with them? Almost lose to the Giants at home. Almost losing to the Jets. That's a trend. They play a lot of close games. They lost a close one to the Colts. But to have a game like that against a putrid team like the Jets last week, and I think the Giants game yesterday solidified where the Broncos actually are. I don't look at them and I see an elite team or somebody who can hang with the Chiefs. So I think right now, man, as long as these injuries, these new injuries now, don't affect the Chiefs with like Omar Norman Lott. You saw the offensive line get banged up yesterday a little bit. As long as the Chiefs are healthy, they are the best team in the league.
Noah, that's a good question for you. Brian mentioned the injury to Omar and tore an ACL out for the year. Was getting a lot of meaningful reps as a rookie, and you like what you saw. I think he had a sack a couple games ago, and showing a lot of promise. And you like what you see. So, what are the answers? Where do the Chiefs go from here as they try to keep this defensive line kind of firing on all cylinders right now?
Yeah, I think there's two names that are being talked about out there. One is Christian Wilkins, who's a free agent. He's got a Jones fracture in his foot. At least he did last year. Should be healed from it now, so he's free to sign anywhere. And then Calais Campbell, who's 39 years old. And what does he have left? I know he signed a one-year deal, kind of wanted to close his career with the Cardinals. Would he be willing to accept to like not end his career with the Cardinals and come for the last 2-3 months with the Chiefs in a trade and try to win a Super Bowl, close out his career with that? So those are kind of two names that are out there. Christian Wilkins is interesting, but he's kind of fighting over whether or not he should have had surgery with the Raiders. That's kind of an arbitration, but he can still be signed. And he's got some weird stuff in his history, the crotch grabbing, the kissing a player on his forehead with the Raiders in a kind of having fun situation. Only the player that he was doing that to didn't find it fun and went to human resources and filed a complaint. So that was part of his releasing from the Raiders. So you're wondering if you want to bring that into your locker room. It's kind of, what are you bringing in there? Are you going to be able to manage that versus the talent acquisition and what you're bringing in there because you have a lack of talent on the defensive line?
Yeah, I'm staying far away from Christian Combs Wilkinson. Shout out to those who get that. Calais Campbell wouldn't be a bad option to me. He wouldn't. It's not like he would be playing every down. It would be select downs that he would be playing on. So I would think that he would, try to garner enough gas for a chance at a ring. I don't even think he's been close. Maybe with the Jaguars in 2017, was he on that team when they went to the AFC Championship game against the Tom Brady led Patriots, and they should have won that game actually. But yeah, Christian Wilkins, he's interesting because he is a very talented player, but those issues, I don't know if you can just, the Chiefs traditionally have done well with players who have issues. There have been a few hiccups here and there. I don't know if you want to dive towards this one though.
Flint, there's two names, familiar names. I know Chris Jones brought up wanting to bring back his brother Mike Pennell, who we let go and traded for Derek Nottie, and he's with the Bengals. Mike Pennell is, and then Colin Saunders is with the Jaguars. A lot of people are bringing his name up too.
Yeah, those are interesting. I mean, I think that there's going to be a move made. The Chiefs have traditionally done this throughout a season. You recall back to 2019, bringing in Terrell Suggs to finish off that Super Bowl season, and there's been history of that. And the Bengals defensive end that we brought in after that, who was 39.
Don't forget about Melvin Ingram.
And Melvin, you're right. And so don't
forget about Ty Law, Darrell Revis.
That's
actually Ty Law's not in, but Darrell Revis counts. That was almost a Thanksgiving weekend trade.
Yeah. This team is going to find a way to continue to get better. We saw last year around this time bringing DeAndre Hopkins in, just trying to keep the weaker positions, try to keep some depth there. And I think that's what this will be all about. And it's weird because, you were talking a lot about running backs, and all of a sudden then the reports indicate that no, now the Chiefs aren't interested in any running backs. and you're starting to get some juice from Pop. You're starting to see Kareem Hunt, although got hurt. These guys are running with a purpose, and they're running as a unit. And we're going to talk to Brashard Smith's former coach actually coming up here, guys. Teaser Rob Likens, SMU wide receivers coach, is going to be coming in to talk a little bit about Brashard Smith's emergence and how you've got kind of a thunder, and a lightning now in this Chiefs backfield that creates a little bit of pressure to put on defensive lines and maybe force the backers to creep up a little bit into the box and try to respect it a little bit. You know, you just like what you're seeing from this Chiefs offense so much right now, and being able to stretch the field, and the intermediate routes now going to be eaten alive by Travis Kelce, by Rashee Rice. Talk to Rob Likens about that. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, Brian, if you can talk, we talked a little bit about the dominance here, but just these numbers are insane. Total yards, 434 for the Chiefs to 95, 30 first downs, and the Raiders had 30 total plays, so the 42 minutes of time of possession. It's just nuts what the Chiefs did.
That's Madden numbers right there. This is a Madden graphic. There's no way this is an NFL game graphic. No way. 42 minutes of time possession. That's probably the most astounding thing out of all of these statistics. The Chiefs held the ball for 42 minutes of game time. I can't even come up with an adjective to describe that. But to have 3 first downs the whole game, you run 30 offensive plays, and the Chiefs have 30 first downs. It's so many fingers that point to how dominant this team can be week in and week out. Again, I'm not saying they're gonna smother every team like that, but I'm gonna get used to this. I'm gonna get used to the Chiefs actually being able to score points whenever the hell they want to. I'm going to be dependent on the Chiefs getting a stop whenever the hell they want to, because I think they have the pieces, I think they have the scheme and the players to show that they can do that.
And Clint, is this offense getting back to being fun? Patrick Mahomes said Matt Nagy came up with this one saying, this never works, man, out here running a play trying to draw them off sides. And then wait, no, they snap it, they get the first down. And of course, we saw the vintage no-look pass to Rashee Rice, them being on the same page. Is this offense fun again? We're having fun. We're getting everybody involved.
Yeah, the fun is back, and you see what they did there with Patrick Mahomes. He F-bombed the Raiders right out of here. And what is it? We love playing with the Raiders. We saw the snow globe a few years ago. The Chiefs are just playing with their food when it comes to the Raiders, who are an unserious NFL franchise, let's face it. I've mentioned that the Chiefs record is 51-20 against the Raiders since Marty Schottenheimer's second year. In the last 35 years, it's unbelievable what this rivalry has become in favor of the Chiefs and how the Raiders have only made the playoffs twice since they went to the Super Bowl in 2003. It's uncanny, and I do think that the fun is back. And I think that that's what's been lacking. Noah, you've talked about it for 2 years. It's not fun. We're winning, and we got to Super Bowls, and we even won a Super Bowl on a back-to-back a year in 23 where the receivers were just allergic to catching the ball, to doing the right thing. Now you've got everybody coming together. And the one thing that's going to worry me, and this is something that we don't want to talk about, it's ridiculous because Antonio Pierce said before this game, it doesn't matter what you did in September. That's out the window. This team is full bore and ready to go. And I agree with that. The one thing is that Jaguars loss going to cost the Chiefs a seed somewhere here in the AFC or in the AFC West, an AFC loss that was inexplicable and should never have happened. If the Chiefs are 5-2 right now, they're atop the division, tied with Denver. And is that somewhere going to just cause some uncomfortableness with a seed line or a tiebreaker that gets lost? That's a ridiculous thing to really be concerned about right now with the way the Chiefs are playing, but it is out there and it could be something to look at later.
Oh, don't fret. Don't fret over that. It's okay. Okay. Look, everything has got to even out, man.
Yeah.
The Jaguars still have a lot of games to play. They got 2 games against the Colts, I believe, as well as the Colts have 2 games against the Jaguars. So I just look, man, we can have this conversation post Thanksgiving when more teams have 4 or 5 losses. Because I think a lot of people get in a bad habit of trying to point out wins and losses in the schedule right now. We don't know what the hell is about to happen with these teams. We didn't know that Lamar Jackson was going to be hurt for 2 or 3 weeks in the season and Baltimore was going to be 1-5 or whatever the hell they are right now. We had no clue about that. We didn't know that the Bengals were going to pick up Joe Flacco. We had no clue about any of this. So I think just I understand why you're, I don't want to say panicking right now,
It's
but
not that. Yeah,
I wouldn't be tripping over a week 4 or 5 loss right now in week 7, week 8.
fair.
Yeah, it's time to feel good. It's time to pop bottles like Chris Jones was doing on the sideline. It's water, folks. It's water.
I feel like this has come up before. Like people are like, what is he drinking? He's drinking Hennessy. He's drinking vodka. This is alcohol. It's like, man, I love this kind of stuff. And when the Chiefs are under a microscope, I love it because you just get insanity. And no matter what, now we're back to the refs. We're back to all these things. And we're back to circling little instances like this. And yeah, we had Devin White who had a little bit of a moment there. Yeah, he's going to win that battle with Travis Kelce, who was wide open and just completely wide open, running rampant down the field. And yeah, I mean, this is what you get when you're the Chiefs here now.
Yeah, I mean, Devin White running his mouth and then getting run over by Mahomes. I mean, he said back in after Super Bowl 55, it was a gimmicky offense. They lack physicality. Well, how was that physicality for you, Devin?
Didn't know Devin White was a Raider until a couple weeks ago, honestly. Thought the career was over. Glad he's finding a place to cash a paycheck for a couple more seasons. As same with, and guys, let's be honest, Pete Carroll out there. This was a division that we were told this is the greatest division we've ever seen. Noah and I for sure pushed back on that and said, you know what? I don't know. I think this is overrated. And coming into it now, when you look at it, the Chargers are falling apart. Denver, just like you described, Brian, I don't know what this Denver's Broncos team is. They have resiliency. As Noah, we talked about earlier, they are, as quote unquote, in Noah Groninger's terms, a live dog right now. But I don't know what the rest of this is. And so with that being said, Pete Carroll looks like he's a 76-year-old guy riding it out in Vegas, just like we've seen so many times. And I just think that the Raiders are, at this point, they should just trade Max Crosby to us.
Never. That's never gonna happen. Look, give those guys over there some time, man. I remember Pete Carroll's first season in Seattle. They went like 6-9-1 or something like that, and they had like or 7-9-1 or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember the exact record, but I remember them having a playoff game or a potential playoff game or division winning game at the end of the season against the Rams or something like that to win a division. Eventually, they built the Legion of Boom. They had Marshawn Lynch, and he built those guys up and he built that culture up. It's going to take a long time to build this Raiders culture up. They have a couple pieces right now, and we have to reiterate that they're going through injuries. The team that has been devastated by injuries, we have to recognize when others are affected too. Like we said, Brock Bowers is hurt. Jacoby Myers was hurt. A couple of guys on defense. Their defense is just putrid. And no matter if those guys are healthy or not. But they do have some pieces, especially on offense. Geno Smith, not sure if he's the answer. But for now, I think that Pete Carroll likes what he has as far as trying to grow something bigger than 2025 with Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers.
Sure. And how long is he going to be there is my question. Do we have 8 years to build this?
He's still chewing that gum.
He looks, as my sister put it, he's very good looking, a very good looking older man. And Pete, she's available.
Ow. Okay. You setting your sister out?
I'm just saying, Pete
Carroll's your brother-in-law. How does that work?
Let's just say, whereas the Chiefs at the draft at the combine a few years ago shut us out from further interviews with Andy Reid, Pete Carroll welcomed us in and said, come on in. Yeah, I'll answer questions about Drew Lock being my backup. Hell yeah. I like Pete. I like Geno. I like Max Crosby. I like more Raiders than I do about anybody else right now, especially they're so bad and not a threat that I just, we got our guy George Atkinson who comes on a lot. And let's just say, Brian, you're going to disagree. I don't hate the Raiders like I used to. I don't.
Oh, I do. I will always hate those
I don't see how it's possible with how bad they've been.
It's more than just the current team. When I think about the Raiders, I think about everything.
I do too.
I just don't see Geno Smith. I just don't see Brock Bowers. I see Mr. Atkinson, who we talked to. I see Tyrone Wheatley.
Yeah.
I see Rich Gannon after 1999.
Right.
I see who else do I
Jerry
see
Rice.
Harvey Williams. I see Jerry Rice's messed up hairline in 2002. I see Tim Brown. I see Lester Hayes. I see Howie
Napoleon
Long. I
Kaufman.
see all of these bastards who
Yep.
gave us hell, and I will never forget it. And that's why, I'm speaking for all the old school Chiefs fans. The Raiders will always be our number one rival. Denver's a close second. They came close. But what the Raiders did to the Chiefs in the 60s and the 70s, I
Yeah.
will never I wasn't even thought of, wasn't even born. I will never forget it. I am a kid of Marty Schottenheimer watch football.
Sure.
Follow me. Golly. Messing up my promo. Look at that. Anyway, I am a kid who grew up under the tutelage of Marty Schottenheimer football. And the number one thing that he did here after creating Chiefs Kingdom as we know it is today is to say, hey, we hate the Raiders. And we do. And let me close with this. You are the most disgusting person on planet Earth. And I'm talking to all Kansas City people who love the Raiders. You are an abomination, and you deserved every single minute of yesterday. I hope there are several more of those for you because it screams self-hate. Why are you here and you like the Raiders? I can understand if you're from California or something like that. I get that. But if you were born and raised in Kansas City and you're around my age or younger, because the Raiders ain't done shit since I've been born, okay? They have done nothing. You are despicable, and you should be transferred to California to go hang out with them or in Las Vegas, wherever the hell city they are. I cannot stand Kansas City people who cheer for the Raiders.
That is a thing. It is a thing, and it is a cultural. It is something. It's almost like it's a mentality. You have to be sort of in a mentality and just a different state of mind, if you will, to go down that path.
I can't stand it. I
in
detest
Star
it.
Wars. You choose the path of like the Jedi or
The dark side.
like, and that is literally what you do. And there's people that just are like that. They're built that way. And you see them out there. You see them from Raymore. You see them from Independence, and you see them in there with their little chin beards, and they're got their Howie Long
chin beards
on, and their Josh Jacobs jerseys still left over. We know who these people are, Brian, and we do not respect it. No, we do not.
All Raiders fans have chin beards. Is that what it is?
There's always a little something there. I don't know. It's usually a little less gray than mine, at least.
I think the ladies have that too. So the lady Raiders fans.
We love all of you. No, we
Very
don't.
fair. But guys, getting into this game that's coming up on Monday night, Jaden Daniels went out against the Cowboys with a right hamstring injury. They say it's not significant, not a long-term injury, but they're uncertain about his status for Monday night, which means it could be time for Marcus Mariota to catch another touchdown pass against us. What say you, Brian?
Oh,
Well, normally, in this Andy Reid era with Mahomes and having Spags as our defensive coordinator, the Chiefs have done miraculously well against mobile quarterbacks for the most part. Spags knows how to dial in the defense. He knows how to create a spy to where the mobile quarterbacks don't get off and get huge numbers. This team has seen big success against Lamar Jackson, the king of running quarterbacks. And look, a hobbled Jaden Daniels, first a healthy Jaden Daniels coming in the Arrowhead against this Chiefs team is already a struggle in itself. But a hobbled Jaden Daniels and an older Marcus Mariota, it's lunchtime again. This time it'll be dinner time since it won't be a noon game. It'll be dinner time for the Chiefs next Monday night, man. If Mariota and them come in here, the Chiefs are going to eat those boys alive. I'm not saying it's going to be a repeat of the Raiders game, but it will be a significant win, a big blowout win for the Chiefs.
yeah, and this Washington team, how disappointing from the NFC Championship game to Rookie of the Year and Jaden Daniels to what we've seen here, and the injuries to Terry McLaurin, to Deebo Samuel, their main weapons have just kind of kept them down. I think Dan Quinn's a really good coach. They've built something there in a very quick amount of time, just a franchise that hasn't done a lot. They're the Commanders. Brian, you'll disagree. Their uniforms, they just don't look like it. They're not an NFL team to me.
I definitely disagree with that. Well, I like the Commanders uniforms. They could be a little better.
I can't believe it's real. Like it's something that you would see out of any given Sunday. One of the fake teams that play the Miami Sharks.
Stop.
You know,
Stop it.
I'm just being honest. Noah agrees. Guess what? With me.
Especially the all blacks, and they've got like yellow
The All
nameplates.
Blacks are the best ones.
The lines above and below, like the nameplate, like it looks horrible. Oh man, not the all blacks.
W's.
Y'all need some style. Y'all need some pizzazz, man. Come
Dude,
on. Stop hanging with the traditional uniforms all the time. Look, you know I'm a traditionalist. I never want the Chiefs to change our uniforms. But look, sometimes you gotta go with what's new sometimes, okay? Like with the Jaguars. People want to go back to the Prowler uniforms. When their uniforms currently, I think, are some of the best in the league. I love the Jaguars uniforms. But the Commanders, look, I as a traditionalist, I understand why you wouldn't like the Commanders uniforms. You would think, hey, just go back to the old
You
Washington
you
uniforms.
can say the R word on this show, Brian.
I'm gonna stay away from that for now.
Bring, bring it back.
I'm
Bring it back.
nah, I ain't with that. But still, I enjoy the Commanders uniforms, especially the black ones.
It's not real.
I mean, we just had like old Seahawks versus Tampa. It was a
Oh, I
beautiful
loved it.
sight.
Loved it. I did. But damn, like if everybody goes back to the old school uniforms, we're all gonna look alike again. Like so tell me the difference. Tell me the difference. Besides the Chiefs and the Buccaneers having different helmets. Chiefs have a red helmet, Bucks had a white helmet. We're talking about the creamsicle uniforms. Tell me the difference between the Buccaneers uniforms and the Chiefs uniforms. The creamsicles.
Like you're just talking like the striping was similar.
Like, yeah, just what's the if a casual fan were to go out and they saw a 1995 Eric Rhett Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey next to a white Marcus Allen jersey, like, how can you tell the difference? I wish y'all could put the jerseys up side by side, but there's literally no difference. My point is the striping, the numbers, all of those things look the same with all of the teams back in the 80s, 90s, 70s. There has to be some teams that have a different set of number blocks and uniforms and stuff. Everybody can't look the same.
I agree with that, but it just gets too wild for me and too out there. And like the Broncos piping that they had down the sides back when Peyton Manning was there was awful.
Oh, no. Okay, I about to say I thought you was about to go in on the current unis.
Oh, those are.
I kind of like the current unis. You said what?
No, they're worse than the 90s that through recent. They're horrendous. They are just horrendous.
We need to take out the
blue helmet, the big D.
Yeah, they that stupid helmet the same. I can't believe Denver does what they do with their uniform. I can't believe what they do.
Speaking of that, real quick before we wrap up this uniform talk, the Chargers should be banned from the NFL from wearing those damn banana uniforms. Those were terrible.
Yes, we can't agree to that one.
Honorary is what I like to call it.
We're going to talk a little more. We're going to talk some SMU football. By the way, big win over the Clemson Tigers here this past Saturday. Joining us, I guess lastly let him off the practice field to do this specific interview. Rob Likens is in the house. Congratulations, Coach. Big win over Clemson this Saturday. The SMU Mustangs made undefeated in conference play. This is just every year. You guys just kind of are running roughshod through the ACC once again.
Yeah, I don't have any answers for you, man. We just try to love the T-shirt, by the way. Kiss in honor of Ace Frehley, man. A little bit of my childhood passed away.
Friend.
Yes, good choice there. But yeah, man, just it's very humbling. Every week, as you know, in pro football too, college football, you can lose any game you play. You can win any game you play now. And so just our players have done a great job of just focusing in week to week. We got one goal, and that's it, and that's to win on Saturday. Whatever that looks like, whatever we got to do, we just want to win. And every game is different, how you win, how you approach it, and our kids have just bought into all of that, and it's been amazing.
Coach, talk about kind of this win over Clemson, what you saw to Jordan Hudson and Kevin Jennings. I mean, they have just come up really huge for you guys, especially this past week.
Yeah, Kevin's been hobbled a little bit and aggravated his ankle early in the game. And so that was really concerning. And then, man, what a warrior. He just played the rest of the game, hobbling around. And we tried to call plays according to, his movement and all of those things. And then, we told the receivers, look, he's not as mobile as he usually is. So, you got to, if he starts scrambling around, man, you better get open. And, they were just playing really hard for each other. And it was a lot of fun to see that, watching the receivers, knowing that their quarterback was a little bit hobbled and they had to do a little bit things differently, and just buying in and playing hard for each other. It was the brotherhood, it was great to watch.
Hey, thank you for joining the show. I just after yesterday's Chiefs game against the Raiders, even in college football, I have never seen a team in victory formation before the 2-minute warning at the end of the game. Coach, have you ever seen that before in your life, in your experience of coaching?
No, not really. No, I haven't. So, no. So, tell me a little bit about the game, guys. You know that I don't get a chance to watch any.
It was an ass whipping.
Playoffs.
It was an ass whipping from whistle to whistle. It was look, Coach. The Raiders ran 30 offensive plays. The Chiefs had 30 offensive first downs.
Hold on, they ran 30 offensive plays the whole game?
Yes.
Yep,
I've never heard of that. And I've been coaching for 36 years. I've never heard of that.
The Raiders had 3 first downs. The Chiefs had 30.
Hold on, are those final stats?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
42 minutes of time possession, Coach.
That's insane. That's amazing. No, that is a butt kicking, man. That's unreal.
That's with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll.
3 first downs?
Yeah, and a lot of this got to take place after the end of the third quarter. So the rest of it was all just handoffs and, like Brian said, kneel downs. But we talk about, we saw Rashee Rice come back, Coach, and what a welcome sight it was after, I think it was 389 days. Rashee Rice, after the injury, after the suspension, after all that he's been through, coming in, man, he's dressed in his leather jacket. He looks like a member of Judas Priest, and it made me, I loved it. He comes in, he's got the best fashion sense, man. And he came in, he's got 2 touchdowns. They really made it a point to get him the ball, to get him involved. And they said, this workload, we're not going to just ease Rashee back in, man. He came in full bore. And what a great, as you're, the one you coached for those seasons there at SMU, it had to be you have to be really proud to see Rashee come back and have the success he has and really put all the negatives behind him. And it looks like, man, he's going to have a great career going forward.
Yes. I talked to him on Thursday. Matter of fact, he just texted me while you were talking.
Wow.
He was returning a text that I had texted, but no, he was, the smile he had on his face when he FaceTimed me on Thursday was, he was so excited and happy to be back. It looked like the weight of the world was off his shoulders, and you could just tell, he was going to have a big game. And I spent some time with him this summer. We worked out together, working on some releases and some release work, trying and testing new things out and all that stuff versus press. So I had a chance, and as usual, he worked me out. Like I was like, "Are you done?" He was like, "No, more." And so I was like, so his drive is there, his work ethic is there, his love for football, his love for the game, his energy that he brings to the people around him is so special. So I'm so happy for him. And then how did my other guy do? How did B Money do? Which, by the way, I gave him that nickname back when I recruited him when he was a freshman.
Glad you asked.
Yes. B Money.
Yeah, he had 5 catches, 42 yards here. I mean, he's really getting involved in the pass game. So we're really starting to see him take off.
He's a special player. I remember when we recruited him, and I remember Coach Manny Diaz, who's now the head coach at Duke, asked me, what'd you think about him? What was the best way to describe him? And I said, he's a 4-star, 5-star receiver, but when the ball's in his hand, he's like a real live, true tailback, like a big time draft choice tailback. I said that about him in high school, and that's what he is, man. I mean, he can run routes. If he needs to play running back, he can play running back. If you need to put him at slot receiver, he can play slot receiver. You can motion him out of the backfield to nub side formations where he goes out and linebackers have to go and cover him and safeties, and good luck with that, guys. and he's able to beat those guys on the regular, and that's what he did for us. So he's a special player that you can use in so many ways.
Yeah, Coach, he seems to be like a chess piece that a lot of people in Chiefs Kingdom are really excited about. They're starting to ease him in the offense a little bit more, starting to put him in those routes that you were talking about in a Jerick McKinnon role where the running back is more of a receiving back, not
Yes.
necessarily being having that traffic in the middle of the tackles. But we saw him yesterday get some carries, Coach, and he seems to be a very durable, explosive running back. As
Yes.
far as his running back skills concerned, what do you think is his top two characteristics that they can bring to this team?
He has amazing contact balance. Like if you don't wrap up, he's breaking that tackle. Like you better do an amazing job of wrapping up. He has great contact balance, and then he has great vision on running inside the tackles. And for a guy, and that's guys, listen to me, it's only going to get better because he's only played tailback, running back 1 year in college, and that was his last year here at SMU. And we got him. I told you the story. We moved him to tailback. We had no idea he could be the starting guy every down back, and then we found out he could. So that's the first time he's ever done it, and so he's going to get better at all the vision and seeing things and understanding football inside the tackles. So he has a bright future ahead.
And here's what Rashee Rice was working with pregame.
I mean, come on.
I love it. Does
We
he have boots? Were those boots? What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
he's
he's looking smooth.
What was the one game, Noah, he had? We talked to him at the Super Bowl 2 years ago in Vegas where he had the 80s hairband pants with the Ozzy Osbourne Priest Maiden pants he had in one of the games. Somebody's got into Rashee and got him listening to Ozzy Osbourne or something. I don't know. But dude, that's sweet. Coach, I want to talk about the college football game because we cover Mizzou here. I'll be at Mizzou Vanderbilt coming up in Nashville next week. And that's just what I want to talk about is why college football, for all its current faults and people's being confused about NIL and transfer portal and all the things you hear negatively, but I don't know that I've ever seen more fan engagement than you have right now and more teams involved. Indiana's number 2 in the country. The SMU Mustangs made the college football playoff, and they're on an inside track to do it again, God willing. You got Mizzou and Vanderbilt playing for an inside track at a college football playoff spot this weekend. College game days there. Coach, for all the negatives you hear and coaching carousels and the things that are going to be coming up and the distractions and all that we hear, college football is still so revered and there's so many good things happening in it. Just what would you say to kind of talk about the positive aspects of the game right now that maybe people are missing?
Oh, man, there's so much. They've done what baseball has done, what basketball has done, expanded the playoffs, keeping everybody involved, which your fans are more involved now. One loss doesn't kill you. They expanded the playoffs. You got, the transfer portal, you got NIL, which now it's more even. All the teams, anybody can win, anybody can lose. So you go to a game, it's no longer the old SEC where, it's Georgia versus Vanderbilt. Georgia's going to win by 49 Saturday. No, Vanderbilt can beat Georgia Saturday. You know what I mean? So any team can beat any team now. And I think that's what makes it super exciting. I think that with the emergence of the NIL, we're teaching these kids, at an early age, amazing life skills. A lot of these guys going into the pro sports had absolutely no idea how to handle their finances. Once you'd see a lot of guys going bankrupt, getting into the Major League Baseball or more so the NBA and the NFL, and they had no idea how to handle their money. Well, they got to, we got classes now where we teach them about finances. We teach them how to pay taxes. We teach them how to invest. We teach them how to save. Those are all amazing, great, positive things that have come from all of this. You're having kids now that, didn't get a chance to play, or maybe a coach leaves and they were stuck there. They wanted to go to that school because of that coach. Well, the coach got fired, or he took another job and left the kids there, and they were stuck there. Well, now they're not stuck there anymore. They can go and move on and go to a place where they fit now and they can play. So, and then with, social media and the engagement of the players in social media, everybody feels like they're part of it now. you got players reaching out to fans and DMing and all that stuff, and like everybody feels like they're there, and like, hey, Rasheed's like my friend, you know what I mean? And like, you just feel like you're more involved, you're more part of the team. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after the game, Coach Rasheed said, like, he loves football. You never know how much you love it or how much it means to you before it's gone or almost gone. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on that. And he seems like he's in a really good space right now and loving football and back in it. And this is really where he belongs. And he broke down the locker room post game by saying 1, 2, 3 family. They all surrounded him and celebrated him. It just seems like he's in a great spot.
Yes, I don't want to speak on the situation that happened with him and all that stuff. That's up to him. But I just want everybody to know he is a amazing person. Like, he is a good, solid person. I love that kid, and he has 2 kids. He is a great father and wants to be a great father. And I love guys that want to be good dads, and he's one of them. When he played for me, and every time I would call him to like go over a play or go over something or see how he was doing or call him at night, always hear his little boy in the background. He's always had him around, in his arms, always playing with him, talking to him. So he is just an unbelievable, solid kid. And another good thing about Rasheed is he is extremely intelligent. That is why he was able to come in and play for a Kansas City offense, which we all know is really involved, and able to move around to different positions. Guys, there's not a lot of dudes out there that could do what he did now. That's really, really special. He's very intelligent, and he's a very, very good-hearted person. So for him to say that, his awareness and understanding all of that and his appreciation for the game, he's just a good dude, man.
Hey, Coach, I think a lot of people forgot how talented and how good he was and how fast he caught this offense on his rookie year in 23. And in the beginning of last year, the first 4 games, Rashee Rice was on fire. I remember the Bengals game, he had a big game.
Yeah.
And so you take him out of this Chiefs offense, and of course it becomes stagnant when you take, the person who's the offense is built around. When he played with you at SMU, was there at any point where Rashee Rice was hurt or injured or wasn't on your team and it affected the entire offense like it did the Chiefs the past year or so?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So when everybody knew that Rasheed was the guy, we got through spring. He was a starter from the year before, but he wasn't like the Rasheed Rice we know as of now, right? I don't even think he was being talked about any pro scouts about even getting drafted at the time, coming out of spring, going into that last year. And then, man, his camp that he had was just absolutely phenomenal. He did some things in one-on-ones that we all just stood back and went, whoa. And I would go off to the side and tell Coach Lashley, man, I think this dude is like a draft choice guy. And then he had his signature moment against Maryland and went off against 2 future NFL corners and did an amazing job. And then that's when all the scouts started pouring in every week. But he did all of that. After I think it was his second or third game, he hurt his foot, right? And so we were all going, oh no, is he going to is he going to play for the rest of the year? Because he could have at the time just said, you know what, I'm not going to play anymore because I could hurt my foot. And he called me up on a Sunday and said, Coach, I just want you to know I'm playing the rest of the season. I don't care. I'm going to have to take care of it during the week in practice. I don't know how, I'm going to have to cut down on my reps in practice and all that stuff, but I'm playing. And one of the early games that he came back from, I think we played Cincinnati, and he had a really bad game, and we played bad. And that's where we knew when we didn't have Rasheed, it really affected our offense.
Yeah.
And I remember after the game, he came in, we watched the game together, and he looked at me and he said, Coach, I don't care what it takes. I'm practicing I'm practicing from now on. I don't care about taking any reps off. I got to, because I can't play great unless I practice.
Wow.
And so the next week, I think we were playing South Florida. I think it was it. and he caught a touchdown pass. He came back and grabbed me by my shirt and started shaking me and said, "Practice, coach, practice." And I went, "Yeah, practice." And so that's when he knew, like, I got to practice. And then once, he came back, it was like, oh yeah, we got the Rasheed back. But yeah, when he had a bad game, that one game, we couldn't move the ball anywhere. Like, he was our dude.
It wasn't Rasheed at a game recently. I don't know if it was either the Stanford game or Syracuse game. I thought I saw him on the sidelines.
Yeah, it was Stanford.
Stanford, yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was Stanford. I hugged him real quick, but he knows I'm a psycho on the sideline during the game, so I sit around and talk to him much. But I did hug him and tell him I loved him.
You sound like me, coach.
Yeah, he's been on the other end of some of my rants on the sideline, so he stays away from the circle when they come off the side, off the game field.
Well, Coach, we cannot thank you enough for you literally just finishing practice, hopping on to talk to us about some of your SMU guys here in Kansas City. And I'll tell you guys got a big game at Wake Forest coming up on Saturday. We're going to be cheering for you guys. We always are. You become our second team, man. We really appreciate you. And, man, we got to hop on the bandwagon. We started talking to you, and you make the playoffs, and now it's just been off and running.
Welcome, Coach. You're welcome.
Coach. Thank you so much.
And we're all getting tattoos someday.
I'm ready.
I swear I'm in. I don't care. I'm in.
I'm 100% in.
Let's do it.
We're in, buddy. Thank you so much, Coach.
Okay,
Thank you,
guys.
Coach.
Take care, guys.
Always an honor, Coach. Take care. Thank you.
The tattoos he's referring to is "Don't be soft," and Rasheed Rice exemplifies that. We've asked him about that mentality. DBS, don't be soft. And it's perfect for Noah and I, Brian, because you'd be shocked to find out Noah and I got that dog in us. We are not soft at all.
Okay. Yeah, well, look, I got a little sensitive side to myself. Look, I ain't married for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't be intense, rock hard Brian all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, there has to be a mellow part of the fellas out there. Gotta have it.
100%.
Man, huge thanks to Rob Likens for jumping on there right after practice. That's great to always hear from him catch up, especially right after Rasheed Rice comes back. Rashard Smith kind of has a little breakout game. He's getting more involved in this offense, so it's great to hear from him, get his perspective on those guys. But, guys, it is time for predictions for Monday Night Football. Commanders, we're not sure if it's Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota, what's going to be involved, but they're kind of similar quarterbacks. Obviously, Jaden more accomplished in the NFL, taking his team to the NFC Championship game against the Eagles last year. But both similar, both can spin the ball, both can use their legs. Brian, we're going to start with you this week. What do you predict for Monday Night Football?
Well, look, either hobble Jaden Daniels or Marcus Mariota. I don't give a damn who they have. Joe, look, our friend Joe Theismann, he can come out of retirement. Who else playing for them? They can go get Jason Campbell. How about Gus Farad? The Maytag repairman, Todd Collins, former Chiefs backup. They can go get him. they can go get whoever they want. The Commanders are going to come in here wounded, and they're not going to win. The Chiefs are coming in healthy. They're hitting on all cylinders, and it's going to be another 30-point game, fellas. I'm seeing 34-13. Chiefs get a big dominant victory over the Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football next week.
Yeah, Noah, I made the mistake last week of picking the Chiefs to win by a touchdown against the Raiders, and I'm not going to make that mistake again because we've seen this offense now operate for 4 games. This is for real. This team is back. The fireworks, as they've talked about, are here, and this Washington team coming in here, a wounded animal. You don't like really anything you're seeing from them right now. It's going to be a long day, and I'm picturing them sauntering in white on white, just the very plain white on whites with the maroon helmet coming in with that Winnetonka W. They're not going to leave with a W. It's going to be, I like Brian's score. I'm just going to say something like, 31-16, something pedestrian like that, something that's very dominant that shows the Chiefs are all the way back. And as Pat McAfee said, the Chiefs isn't the Chiefs anymore. They're better.
We are.
Yeah, well said. Well said by Pat McAfee. And guys, yeah, I've got this kind of similar here. Whether it's Mariota, whether it's a hobble Jaden Daniels, maybe Terry McLaurin's back. Maybe that can give their offense a little bit of a spark. He was kind of questionable this week. Didn't end up going. They've got Zach Ertz, who can be a problem in the middle of the field. Hopefully Nick Bolton and some of the safeties, Shamari Connor, can stay with him. The backfield is where they're hurting. They lost Austin Eckler. They traded Brian Robinson to the 49ers, so they don't have a lot going back there. I know they got McCroskey Merritt, the young rookie. So I don't know what they're going to be able to do offensively. Our defense is playing well. They just had a shutout. But I do see Washington getting a few more points here. I've got it 33-19 Chiefs victory.
Look at you two being nice again.
We're back.
That's fine. We don't want to bring the ratings down for Monday Night Football next week.
Man, that is something that ESPN, I feel for them a bit on that with Washington. But people are going to want to keep checking in on this Chiefs show, man. They're going to want to watch it again. I mean, it's fun. Noah, you've been waiting. You specifically, we all have. Trust me. But do you?
No,
I mean,
I owe you guys an apology. I do. There was several times the past couple years or so where we had a discussion on, is this Chiefs team enjoyable? And look, I was in the mindset of, we're winning. Yes, it's enjoyable.
that's not wrong either.
I would be lying to you, y'all, if I did not say that this is a million times more fun than the football that we've been watching the past 2 years. So yes, I owe you guys an apology for that. It is it's fun watching these Chiefs games again. Seeing all the scoring, me getting up, screaming touchdown, Kansas City, and going crazy. Like it wasn't a lot of that the past couple years. It wasn't a lot of touchdowns being scored. And to see this team doing what they want to do again, and it feels mighty good. It does. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So I had to apologize to you, gentlemen, for that.
No, you don't. None necessary. No, what is this? Well, we forget. Yeah, everybody gets funny, Brian. They stole your line.
Did you see Scott Moore last night? Huh? He got some juice in San Francisco.
I hope so. I hope he does. I hope he stays in the league a while. Noah, but before we sign off, I mean, we loved the Tyreek Hill era. We all look at the reverence of the 18-19 teams, but I know this is 4 games into this resurgence, but does this light you up like it did?
Absolutely. Yeah, this lights me up. However, I was just thinking about this the other night. I don't think this is going to be as good or as explosive as it was when Travis Kelce was at his peak and Tyreek Hill was at his peak. That was explosive, could score any second, but I almost like this more because we also had a bad defense. It scored too quick at times, and then your defense is out there more. It can score quick, but it can also have the methodical drives where I think we were almost too good and too explosive back then that we scored too quick. This lets the defense rest. I think it's a perfect combination and marriage between offense and defense, letting each other rest, get the plays, and be at the top of their game all game long.
And I just want to close with this. Ladies and gentlemen of Kansas City and Chiefs Kingdom, far and beyond Missouri and Kansas, enjoy this. Enjoy this from Patrick Mahomes right now. He is at the peak of his powers right now in his career.
You're right.
Earlier in his career, he really didn't have the experience mentally of knowing coverages, of knowing what the defenses are about to do. But he had all of the energy and all of the big throws and the big runs, and he could take hits and all of this. He could do all of that when he was younger. Now, as he's getting a little older now, when he turns 35, 36, he's not going to be able to run how we seeing him run now and scramble. So he has the best of both worlds right now with the mental capacity and with his physical capacity. He is at the peak of his powers, and that is why I was fully confident in this team being the best in the league. And whenever they got the offensive line settled, we ain't even talked about the offensive line today. That's how damn good they've been. They've been fantastic. But he has this receiving group, maybe top to bottom, the best he's had since he's came to the Chiefs. Enjoy this version of Patrick Mahomes, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to see some special things from him. I don't want to speak too far into the future with next year, but definitely this year, I think he has MVP written all over him this year, man. Enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is great to hear, guys. Stay tuned. Coming up here, you guys, we love it. Brian's World Podcast dropping. Brian, be shining on 103 Jams, Hot 103 Jams. And then you got Noah and I hanging around doing our thing all week. We love it, guys. We thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to Coach Rob Likens. Go SMU this week against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Arrowhead Allies. And we always like to leave you with one of our good coach.
Oh, Clinton have the power behind it. But guys, our show will be Tuesday next week because we are play on Monday Night Football. So we will see you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central. And like Clint tried to do, we got to beat those Commanders on Monday Night Football next week. Go Chiefs!